What's going on, guys? Rock Lee AC here. I am bringing you guys my deck profile of my top 4 finish from the Naruto CCG Jonin Event that was held in Fresno, California at the Bullpen just last weekend of the 19th. It was a collaboration between Portage, myself, and Jason's crew down there. Basically giving back to Cali for all the inspirational, motivational things that they started back about a year ago. It really motivated the Midwest to kind of start up again with their videos and their kind of tournaments. So just wanted to celebrate that and bring down a bunch of prizing down there, and we gave away a couple cases of cards. I know first place got like a case of Avengers Wrath, and from there, each place got like 5 boxes, and then 4 boxes, and 3 boxes. Top 8 was guaranteed prizing, so the rest of 5th through 8th each got a box. In addition to a bunch of giveaways that we did, it was a lot of prizing. It was a lot of playmats, Visa gift cards, super rares, a bunch of booster packs. I mean, I think if you spoke with a lot of people who went there, I think they had a great time. There was 14 players who played in the tournament, but there are several others who came by and supported. About 5 or 6 more swung by. Big Juan Roglist, Foggy came by, and then 2 other people who commented on the Facebook page who wasn't able to go. They swung by, and then a bunch of other like bystanders who saw the tournament. They're like, "Oh man, I wish I knew about this tournament before." And there's obviously a bunch of other people who weren't able to make it due to work. But it was just really, really nice to see the new kind of community out there. I know Juan said that there are actually a couple people who he's never even seen before, so that was really, really nice to see that there are a bunch of ninjas who just kind of recently started, which we did meet. It was a nice event. Weather was great. We were really there for like a couple days, but it felt more like 28 hours. But yeah, it was a fun event. It went really smooth. We had our own Naruto program going on, so that really helped with pairings and timing and everything. And it was just overall a great experience. I'm going to cut to the chase. I'll leave a lot of my information on the vlog that I'll be posting up next week. This is one of the few uploads I'll be uploading in terms of deck profiles. So after this, we'll probably see the Void, James's Puppet deck, which he got 2nd place, and then Jason's Mill deck, which he got 1st place. So this is a bad habit of mine. I literally like to switch decks last minute, and a lot of my friends know that, and it did happen again over this weekend. I was dead set on running a Revitalize. For the past 2 months, I've been pretty much playtesting that deck in and out, and I was very confident, going into the tournament, mainly because I think Revitalize has a very high win ratio, and it's probably one of the most consistent decks. And if your opponent's not able to respond to it, you're almost guaranteed victory. So it's always been a strong deck, and I felt like the version that I ran was very well tested. But for some reason, I just wanted to have a little more fun, so I went with my OTK deck. It was the Tails OTK deck that was very popular. Not really very, very popular, but a few people ran it several years back. I know I ran it at my first Gen Con and went 4-4, but definitely got a lot of recognition from other players for running something like that. And it was a deck that I kind of perfected even afterwards. And after a couple tune-ins and everything, I was able to win with this deck and kind of throw people off guard. So with this kind of bringing back into the scene, I wanted to kind of catch people off guard, because most people don't run these kind of decks. And some people could say it's cheap, but it's a very skillful deck. And again, if you're not aware of your weaknesses and whatnot, then you're not going to win your games. I went 3-1. I lost to Jason in the last round of Swiss. He was running a mill deck that pretty much mills you out by turn 3 and 4. And definitely this deck, one of the deck's weaknesses is mill, because if you lose that combo piece, there's no way to pretty much come back from it. And this deck doesn't really have an early game. It's really there for like a mid game. Earliest you could win is like turn 4 type of thing. So it was a really rough matchup, and that was really the only other deck that, aside from that and Chakra Control, that I was really scared of for this kind of deck. But anyways, it was great. I went 3-1, and then top 8 I went against deck D8. I forgot like his whole Twitch name it's Deck. So he ran like I think a Fire, Wind, Lightning variant kind of deck. And then top 4 I lost to James, who ran a Puppet deck in game 3. So he took first game, I took second game, and third game he was able to get his nice combo pieces in and win it from there. But yeah, this deck is amazing. I like it a lot. It's a very unique deck. That's why I chose to run it. There's no other deck really out there like that people have been playing. So pretty much this is my version of my updated Tails Doppleganger OTK. So here we go. 0 drops. Let's start off with 3 Keyscase. This deck you want to really stall until you get to like turn 4 or 5 is really where you want to capitalize on it. Keyscase, both my main elements, which is Fire, Lightning. He stalls the game, and he's a great opener for a 0 drop. Next is 3 Tamari, Excellent Tactician. She's one of the best 0 drops in the game. She's one of the best stall cards in the game. You just basically move her position as a back ninja so the head ninja doesn't get injured or damaged, and she's pretty much kept alive. I used her effect a lot, and she's just very broken. Next are 2 different Kibas. Each serves a different purpose. This deck doesn't run a lot of Jitsu, so you're going to be, needing that extra protection early game. So Kiba no Jitsu, Wild Fang, he helps you protect against early game rush. And then Kiba, this is the mission searcher, Keen knows. I run a lot of missions, so you're more likely to hit this. Every time I deployed this, I was able to hit a mission. So it's very, very valuable. You could definitely up it to 2 if you would like. Next card is Konohamaru. This is pretty much like Hanabi, but for missions. When he's injured, you can look at the battle wards that are given, and if there are 1 or more mission cards among them, you can place them into your hand. Very powerful effect. I didn't really see him a lot because unfortunately I didn't have time to make another proxy of him, and I didn't have another real copy of him. I would have ran 2 just because his effect is so good. Being able to block early game and put somebody behind him is very powerful. Another card is Udakata. He helps tech against cards that I need to filter throughout my chakra area, which is Angering the Beast, and maybe just shuffle in some dead cards here or there. But he's very solid as a 0 drop. And then the other 0 drop is Kushina. She helps get you chakra. Obviously, you want to be able to get your Angering the Beast in the chakra area, which is one of the combos. She also has growth. She's not really going to growth into her anyways, but solid card. Speaking growth, this is the card that you'll probably be growthing into. This is the main card that helps the combo really make it happen. Basically, Kushina, top effect you're not really worried about, but the bottom effect is really all you need. All your Tail Beast ninja cards and animal ninja cards with a printed cost of entrance 7 or more get -2 entrance cost and -1 hand cost. Basically, Ninetales is a tailed beast, as you can see underneath his name. So I mean, it's yeah. You have Kushina out, you could bring this out as early as turn 7, and then if you have Angering the Beast mission card, you could bring it out as early as turn 4 if you have all those combo pieces. So if you have Kushina and 3 Angering the Beasts in your shock area, you're good. But obviously there's counters to put in play effects. there's counters to missions, so you have to be prepared too, which is why I built my deck around that. Another 1-drops, which really helped me, was Rin. She prevented a lot of my opponents from attacking. My opponent would be like, drop a ninja, squad into a group, but kind of pass. And that really helped me build up my momentum and build up my opportunity to, cast my Ninetales in the next couple turns. Rin was just very valuable, and she just really was a key card in my deck. 2 other cards, Bartender Cat and Mabui. I just felt one of each, just for colored purposes. Mabui is there in case I had to go against like female decks, and I needed to have a lot of early female ninjas to kind of block with. And then Bartender Cat again was mostly the target for swapping out your main cards as well. So these are both solid drops to cycle stuff out. Some tech cards. I ran 1 Shino Revitalize, which is my only Revitalize card in the deck. Unfortunately, that didn't do enough against Mill. But this is like my tech card. If I want to go all in and use my combo pieces, I play Shino, make sure they don't have any counter negates or counter missions or anything like that could stop either my Ninetales or my mission, and then play it from there. So Shino's probably one of my favorite tech cards of the whole game. 3 drops. I ran 2 Naruto. This one basically says players cannot play counter mission cards. So when I play my mission Doppelganger, my opponent can't negate it. Same thing with comp strength, dehydration, stuff like that. Very powerful card for really setting off your combo pieces. Another card is Toby. He is probably the only tutor card for any card. A lot of people kind of don't really value him as much, but basically he's a very underwhelming card for a lot of people, but it's also overlooked. Because basically when he's deployed, you search your deck for a card and remove from the game. Then when Toby gets removed from the game, he becomes your opponent's battle ward, but you take that card that's removed from the game back to your hand. So if I need a card that wins me a game, this is the main card that gets it. So I would get like Doppelganger if I don't have it, or Kushina, or just really like a main combo piece if I don't have it. So it was a way to get the pieces that I need, and it's also a 3 support. And most of the time your opponent doesn't want to attack to this because they know I'm going to get my combo piece. So they kind of stall a little bit, and that allows me to maybe draw into another one or build up my resources for when I need it. Another tech card that's kind of like Shino is Hinata, Limitless Sight. This card is another very strong card because your opponent wants to like negate and chain to this. When there's a put in play, you choose a symbol. Your opponent cannot play cards of that symbol. So when I want to, if I don't have Naruto out or whatever like that, then I choose whatever element that I'm playing against. Earth, if they're going to comp strength me or dehydration me, I call Earth so that they can't do that. If they're going to Subiru me, maybe they're playing like Fire or Water or something like that. Or if I think they have a Subiru in their hand, then I'll call Fire or Water. Just any element. So you really got to know kind of what your opponent's going to play and predict what they're going to be using after the sideboard once they know what kind of deck I'm playing. So Hinata is very strong for that aspect. Next is Sasuke OV. This is a very tech card of mine. I like it a lot in my decks too if I'm able to run it. You're able to discard your chakra to discard their chakra, but not only that, it helps against a variety of decks like No Hand Water. You can discard whatever chakra you need to get rid of like their Chidoris or the Striking Shadow Snakes or their Ambush Ninjas, or whatever card. This card I wanted to use against Jason's Mill deck because of the dynamic marking jutsu. I'm trying to get out of it, but I never had the chance to draw him by that turn. But Sasuke just overall is great. You could always squad outside of him in your reinforcement deck. 4 Tails is probably the only other normal tail beast that I play outside of the 9 Tails. I could bring him out early. The one game I brought him out as early as turn 2, so it really forced your opponent to kind of think about attacking, because when you attack him, if he's damaged during the showdown, you give your opponent a damage, and if he's damaged to a jutsu, you give your damage to the user of the jutsu. So he's there for protection, kind of forces your opponent to play kind of differently. I ran a lot of one-ofs just because I do have some search cards, and then also, you know, I don't really need these. These are just all kind of tech cards. Itachi, you know, test power, really overpowered card, being able to look at your opponent's hand. I was able to play this once so I could see what my opponent has. If I knew they didn't have any type of negation, then I would just go all in and OTK. Strong card. Another strong card is Naruto Tail Beast form. I use this once in the game. Being able to kill their signature ninja. You know, in a normal mill deck, like a block format mill deck, I probably would be able to get this out to kill Pakun and other things. But this is the main card to pop any ninja that you know, I feel like is gonna hurt this deck, like Kagiri or something like that, or something where it negates text effects. He's really good. And Pain Path is like my ultimate tech card. This is probably one of my favorite cards in the game. Being able to look at my opponent's hand and put a card at the bottom of their deck, and they lose a card. So this is essentially another Itachi, but I'm able to pick a card out of their hand, and if I'm not able to Ninetales right away, at least I get rid of like their Jutsus or something strong that they're gonna either deploy or use during their next turn. And I could also use it on myself, and if I do, I'd be able to draw a card after that. But most of the time, you're looking at what your opponent has and going from there. Alright, onto the missions. I ran 2 just like Drifting Clouds. Really solid card overall. You know, 2 to 3 in a deck. If you're playing fire, is definitely a great idea. Swapping out a bad hand, that's really what it's there for. And that extra plus. 2 makeout tactics. Being able to search is really powerful, and usually I'd be able to you know, either fish for Kushina or my tech cards, which is really what I look for. 2 months of research. Research was good because again, it forces your opponents to kind of pick some combo pieces. Maybe I already have a doppelganger in my hand, so they'll make you know, a pile of 3 in 1, and you know, I'll grab the 3 and, you know, kind of make them think. But really solid card. One of the next target, I probably would bump that up to 2. Again, just like Konohamaru, I didn't have time to make proxies, and I didn't have another copy with me. But this is nice. It's I like it because, again, if I don't have my Naruto out or anything like that, this could target you know, missions, but also like clients. So that's very powerful. I like it a lot. This is the card that I'd probably replace it with. Long Way of Reinforcements. This is another search card, just like Makeout Tactics. You know, this is I would mostly search for like a Toby or something with some combo piece, whatever that I need. Then I ran 3 Warhawks. Very powerful. You need to be able to draw onto your pieces, and one of the best draw missions in the game, if not the best. 3 Angering the Beasts, because again, right at the bottom, while this mission is in your chakra, all your Tail Beast ninjas get -1 entrance cost. So that allows you to bring out your Ninetales quicker. Main card is Doppelganger. This is a card that not a lot of people run, and I'm surprised like nobody runs it like a tech card. This could help you even outside of my deck, squad into ninjas that you just aren't able to have. Basically, it is a turn 2, can cost 1. Target one of your ninjas. Attach this card to the target, then name a ninja card. This target is considered to have that name as long as this mission card is attached. So it's permanent for 3. It's this incredible card. You obviously call Naruto Uzumaki 6 Tails because that is the tailed beast that goes into the Ninetales Fox Spirit. So yeah, you would name Doppelganger Naruto Uzumaki 6 Tails. You want to make sure the condition's right. You want to make sure you have Kushina, Angry the Tail Beast, and make sure your turn marker is exactly where you're able to deploy your Ninetales. Since you still got to beat entrance cost, Kushina and Angry the Beast lets you bring it in sooner. So you play that, and then you name 6 Tails, and then when this ninja's put in play, you win the game. So there are counter cards to that, obviously, but you have counter cards. So again, you could use this. It's a nice little tech card if you don't have any other stuff. And the only 3 jutsus that I run is Toad Mouthtrap. Solid card overall. Just being able to negate anything that your opponent has. It's this and Kiba is really one of the only jutsu stoppers that I run. And then, of course, Toby, Man of Mystery. In this format, he was limited 1, so you have to run him. he's just really too good not to run. And yeah, that is the main board. Sideboard, I used a little bit of it. Obviously, I ran 2 Hina, mostly against stuff like World of Fire, permanent missions, things like that. Oftentimes, I would side in game 2, 5 Tails and Tail Beast Bomb, mainly because your opponent's expecting to kind of look for the combo pieces, so they really aren't expecting other Tail Beasts. And these came in handy. Again, I was able to bring out some of the Tail Beasts a turn earlier, and 5 Tails bringing out on turn 3 was really strong because every time one of my Tail Beasts wins a victory, I get a Battle Ward. And then Tail Beast Bomb was crucial in my game 2 match against James in the top 4, whereas I was able to get rid of one of his reinforcements, I think the Black Ant and Conqueror. And then, the next 2 turns, he wasn't able to hit his pieces, so, we went to game 3. So it was very powerful. I like to do this just because it switches up, kind of play styles, and your opponent really doesn't expect it. Other card is Eno Playful. She's super strong against many decks, stops a lot of put-in plays. I did side this in against James, but I didn't see this until turn 5, so he was able to get a bunch of puppets out beforehand. And then the effect text of your opponent's head ninjas are negated. That's just good overall. Great against Void. I didn't play against Void. And the only person there was one of our teammates, Matt Demond, who ran Void and got 3rd place. But she would have definitely been a very strong contender. Next is Sakon. I like him because cards in your chakra area cannot be affected by the effects of your opponent's ninjas and mission cards. Mostly against like chakra killing decks. I need Angering the Beast in my chakra, so if my opponent has access to chakra depleting cards, then I need this to protect. Sasuke Freezing Eyes against like stuff like Animal Rush, anything that has powerful low drop ninjas. Really just there to kind of clear the board. And Pakun only because of like mental, in case somebody decided to run mental. And then reinforcements. The only reinforcements I obviously ran in was 9 Tails. I also ran a couple of these reinforcements if I wanted to. If I was stuck, if my opponent negated my 9 Tails or something like that, I could still reinforce some of these options. But I never had an issue on that. In terms of Swiss, my first matchup was against Aaron. He kind of started a couple of months back, so he was running basically a multi-element deck. So that really wasn't too difficult of a match. So I got him in 2-0. The next game I ran against one of the Twitch streamers. I think they're from like Sacramento or very up north. His name was Botch Boy. You guys could follow him on Twitch. BOTCH and then capital BOI for Botch Boy. He ran Revitalize, so I told him, I was like, I'm very familiar with the deck. It was the deck that I was going to run before. We had about a 10 card difference or so. So I knew exactly what was going to happen as long as I was able to rush him. He actually pushed me to game 3, and I was able to get my 9 Tails ball in both those games. So great guy. He was able to get top 8. Third round, I went against B, her, aka Killer B, or what I named him. I'm sure people named him that before. But he was running a no-hand water variant, which is, I think, a little bit more old-school cards. So I had to read a couple of them, but, he didn't have an answer to my Ninetales. So both games, I was able to get them both. But had I played another deck, I probably would have been really close. So I was 3-1 there, and then fourth round, obviously, went against Jason. He was running a stupid mill deck that just kept on milling multiple stuff because there's triggers upon triggers. With Pakun out there, and then dynamic marking, and a bunch of the other effects. So he tilled me on there. It was a really quick game. I mean, it was just mill by turn 3, mill by turn 4, couldn't stop. And then we went to top 8. So top 8, we went to normal pairings. I ended up second in Swiss. So my first matchup was against DD8K or Deck. And again, he was running like a Fire Wind variant, Lightning variant, and won both games with Ninetales. And then from there, proceeded to top 4 against James. Good matchup. Went to game 3. Again, he was able to get his puppets out with that crazy Jitsu. He was able to get, I think, 4 or 5 puppets in one team, in addition to his 2 others. So it was really hard. He had a team of 20, and I did have 5 tails out, but that team was only like 9 by like turn 3 or 4. So it was really hard to kind of go from there. And then my buddy Matt went against Jason. I don't know if they went to game 3 or not, but ended up being Jason and James in the finals, and they decided to split. So it was a overall great event, really good experience, had a lot of fun. Thank you, Jason, for letting us stay over at your place. And this is a deck profile of my updated Ninetales deck, so hopefully you guys get a little inspiration from it. It is a very interesting OTK deck, so if you want to play it around, mess around, add a couple cards of your preference, kind of throw people off guard, it's really fun. So yeah, I'll catch you guys soon, and I'll be uploading this along with a couple other deck profiles. So see y'all later, YouTube, and peace out.